to like which university you're interested with, and if the course is really what you have in mind in terms of its course module, right? So I'm just going to move back a couple slides. Yeah. So that is a little bit about how that's a little bit about the undergraduate degrees that are available. For postgraduate courses, just in case after undergraduate degree you still want to continue studying, because education is a lifelong journey. I myself is currently pursuing my master's degree, so you'll never stop studying. Honestly, if you really kind of want to pursue your education, master's degrees is available, the PhD, the doctorates, but beyond all this traditional degree routes, you also have like certificates and vocational certs that you can take. That is considered as a postgraduate course in the UK as well. But for today's session, I'm not going to touch too much about postgraduate. But if you have any questions regarding postgraduate, just drop them in the comments, and we can help address it. But for today, we're going to mainly focus on the undergraduate side. And choosing a university in UK, it was pretty daunting when I first started my application to the UK, because the options are so many. Like I said, it's already consisting of 4 different huge nations, which is England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Now, inside that, I also have to choose which particular city I want to live in, and then which university I want to attend. So it's an extremely daunting experience to know which university should I go to. But here are like at least some quick 5 points that I would suggest everyone reflect on. Do a little bit of journaling if you want to, as opposed to which university may suit you the most. First and foremost, I would suggest that you kind of reflect a little bit if you prefer to live in a city or somewhere quieter or more remote. I personally like to live in the city. I like the accessibility of everything. Right? I like that, like, at 3 a.m., I want to go to 7-Eleven. I can just, go downstairs from my apartment and then, ta-da, 7-Eleven over there. But, sometimes some people, they want to live more on the remote side of things, because they like the peace, because they like the quiet lifestyle over there. And that's fine, So reflect a little bit if you want to stay in the city or you want to stay somewhere that's more quiet. Because from there, you will know that, like, agak-agak lah, right? Which is the area that will suit you best. Then second of all, if you have any particular curriculum passion that you would like to explore or focus in. So one of those reasons why I actually chose University of Liverpool, other than the fact that they had a great law program, was also because that they had a great program, national team actually, for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I was practicing Jiu-Jitsu back when I was in A levels as well as high school, and I wanted to continue practicing it. So and all along, I've always heard really great masters in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Liverpool, University of Liverpool specifically. So I thought that, okay, since I want to continue that sport in the first place, I should then try and head to that university and see if, the program suits me. So that's an advice, just considering any extracurricular passions that you have in mind. And this kind of things, it's important for you to as well note whether or not it's feasible in that particular country. So, feasible in that particular town. Like maybe you want to focus on like canoeing, kayaking, or maybe horse riding. Then you'll have to kind of be able to identify that in that particular city, for in the case of kayaking, that there is a lake available or a seaside available for you to enjoy that, right? Something for you to also consider is if you have friends and family in the UK that you would like to be near to. So, I didn't have the pleasure of having any family members in the UK at that point, but I do have peers and friends who moved to particular cities because they felt that they just wanted a little bit more of their family side of things. that they move to, for example, Manchester, they move to Leeds, they move to Sheffield, just because that they have a safety net, right? And they have family that they can rely on while they're in the UK, and they want to be close to that particular family member. So something for you to consider if you have any families living in the UK. If you don't have any families living in the UK, don't worry, you're going to build your own family over there. Trust me. You meet lots of friends, Malaysian or international otherwise, and yeah, you'll definitely build your own families. One thing as well is to consider the cost of living in big cities, right? So a lot of times when people say that like UK is expensive, it's really directly kind of pointed at London, because London, just like Kuala Lumpur, the cost of living is really expensive. Let's just talk about rent, for example. So rent in everywhere else in the UK will cost you maybe about 900 to 1,300 pounds per month. So 900 times 5, or just agak-agak times 5.5 would make up to be about 5,000 ringgit a month, or to 6,800 maybe, right? So, but in the London specifically, your rent would start at 1,300 pounds per month, and onwards of like maybe around 2,000 pounds a month. So it's a big difference, right? Everywhere else in the UK, you most probably average between 900 to 1,300. In London itself, is 1,300 onwards to about like 2,000 pounds a month. So if, for example, you are considering cost is a big factor for you to study in the UK, then recognizing that there are certain cities that is more expensive than the others would be helpful for you to kind of start identifying, like, can I afford to live in this city? Because if you are accepted there, but you can't afford to live in the city, it's going to be a struggle for you mentally, as well as like financially trying to cope with living there. And then finally, knowing that UK is made out of like 4 very big nations: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Just kind of identify if there's a preference within these 4 nations that you like to study in. Most often, people don't really have a preference, because they are 4 really equally great nations. But in case you do, it's something for you to also kind of like think and consider about. Yeah. And yeah, so that was at first, what about where you could study in the UK, and what universities is right for you. But now let's move to about what course is right for you, right? Just because you select the university, now you got to select the right course that works for you. Again, the same way how we go through whether or not this university is right for you, I'm just going to suggest about a few pointers on how to know if the course is right for you. Some of the students and some of you guys are pretty great, because from the start, I want to be a mechanical engineer, I want to be a robotic engineer, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a surgeon. That's great if you already set your mind ahead. But if you don't, just letting you know, it's perfectly fine as well. When I did my A levels, I was still in a discovery phase where I was really trying to explore myself. What do I want to study? What's my interest in? What would I do really well in, for example? So if you have not kind of nailed down what exactly you want to do right now, just know that it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly normal. But you also have to kind of start working towards identifying what you want to study. You can't leave it until the very last minute of application and then start thinking then like, oh no, what is it that I want to focus on? It's a long process for some of us, so start as early as you can. And to do that, using these 6 pointers could be helpful. First one is identifying what subject you're most interested in. So some of you are taking SPM, some of you are taking IGCSE. So based on what of the subjects that you're currently studying in, just try to identify which one you are most interested in. And just letting you know is that most interested in may not necessarily be the subject that you are always getting your A star or A plus in. It could also be something which you just really like reading, really curious about it, right? Because it's important as well that like you have the curiosity, you have the interest on the subject, and it doesn't always necessarily mean that I have to be the A student in that subject in order for me to be interested in. Second one, what are the modules or options that are on offer? So, like I said, using the UCAS website in this first QR code over here, you'll be able to identify, what are the different type of combinations of degree or different types of like subjects, modules that you can explore. Don't limit yourself to traditional degrees, right? Your traditional degrees, uh, your likes of your law, your medicine, your engineering, your accountancy. That's great because they are true and tested. But if you are a little bit out of the box, you like something a bit different, just know that in today's world, uh, there is so many degrees that is available that you can really find any combinations that you can possibly think of to take it as a degree, right? Does the course include work placement? So certain courses, they do include work placement. I think one that usually everyone is really familiar with in terms of work placement would definitely, for example, be for MBA courses, but that's postgraduate. MBA courses, you usually have a practicum period where you actually have to work in certain corporate companies just to kind of like experience and learn a little bit. So if let's just say there is any work placement, you kind of have to know a little bit about what it entails and if you are interested in those area of work placements. Last three ones is really kind of like self-reflective a little bit, as well as like uh, knowing where you are at the present moment. So where you are at the present moment is like, do you have the grades that is needed to enjoy to pursue this course? Truth to be told, one of the hardest one that you and I will most probably know about is medicine, right? We've heard a lot about how tough medicine is, and I'm pretty sure that nobody in this call is having this result, but like, assuming that you have gotten all D's in your examinations, I'm pretty sure nobody has such results in this call over here. Then trying to get a placement in a medical school might be a little bit hard. Uh, we might want to kind of reconsider a little bit into what are the alternative medical degrees. It may not necessarily be a medical degrees, but medical adjacent that you want to kind of consider. So whether you have the grades, it's something for you to kind of look at it now and see if you possibly meet the requirements, right? And two things that you will have to be reflective in the future about is what do you want to do next, right? What do you want to do in terms of like, as people say, in 5 years' time, what kind of person do I want to be? In 10 years' time, what kind of person do I want to be? Reflect a little bit about you, where you want to be in your career, in your life, and then see whether or not the course that you intend to take would be able to help you to get there. I will just give my own personal background. So obviously, I came from. I'm obviously not in the legal fraternity right now. I am in the marketing industry for British Council. But my background, again, I've mentioned, is in law. So just because I personally find that like a lot of people will usually like to question me whether or not, why did I jump from law to marketing? It may seem a little bit weird that I depart so wildly away from law to marketing, but I can let you know as well that there is a lot of transferable skills in law that you can use for any other degrees that's available. So that's fine for you to explore a little bit about. And finally, a bit of research that you can do for yourself is actually whether other students are enjoying this course, for example. So if, for example, this is one of those areas where in hang on, yeah, in this final QR code here, this use Discover Uni to compare data undergraduate courses. This is actually a good other website that we are sharing because it will let you know a lot of kind of tangible data regarding the course and that other students are taking. Like some of those information would be that, the like I mentioned, whether or not the students are enjoying taking the course, or whether or not students are completing their first year and then moving on to the second year. Because if let's just say they don't enjoy the course, they may possibly have already dropped out after their first year. So data like this on Discover Uni is actually available there. So you can actually use such data to kind of like gauge whether or not this course is enjoyable for other students. And then you can again self-reflect whether you'll be enjoying this course in the 3 years of your degree. One bit of information as well. So if you're pursuing a full degree actually in the UK, it is usually 3 years minimum right after you finish your pre-U, with the exception of Scotland. So in Scotland, degrees are a minimum of 4 years. So just keep that in mind if when you're comparing, the degrees between these couple of nations. And how to apply, like I mentioned, the juicy part of our conversation here today. So, if you're familiar with the UPU platform for Malaysian local universities, then UPU platform for Malaysia is similar to UCAS. UCAS is for UK, and it will allow you to applying to the via UCAS will allow you to access all UK institutions, right? And so so in order for you to kind of apply for UK universities, you would first have to register to UCAS itself. So when you're registering to UCAS, it is you have to create an account, and then the next thing you need to do is that you can apply up to 5 different courses or universities. So it's important for you to know that in these 5 different courses or universities, right, it can be 5 different courses at different universities, or the same course at different universities. So maybe I want to go to Sheffield for engineering, I want to go to Queen Mary for law, I want to go to Edinburgh for business. That's 3 different options. Or you can take, I want to go engineering in Sheffield, I want to go engineering in Imperial, I want to go engineering in Southampton. So long as it's 5 different kind of combinations, it's allowed actually through your UCAS applications. And then after that, it is for you to prepare your documents. So some of the documents that you will need to prepare is, number 1, your personal statement. So your personal statement is a really, really important content that you really need to prepare. It will make and break your application, honestly. And so if there are any kind of like guidance online that you can find regarding how to boost your personal statement, I would suggest that you seriously look into it, because a lot of times over the course of many years, there have been many students who have possibly not been accepted to certain of their universities just because their just because their personal statement did not meet certain university or certain courses standards. References would definitely be needed as well. So references from your teachers or your tutors in school who can attest to the great work that you've done academically or outside of academics would be really helpful in terms of like helping to beef up your application to the universities. And finally, transcripts. So for those who are applying, they are in the middle of their A levels, then you will usually be applying via your trials. Your semester 2 or your trial results. But if let's just say you've already completed and then you are applying, then you can submit your full transcripts, right? And then what happens after you fill in all this application, done all the due diligence, and submit all this all these documents, is that there will be a fee that is due for UCAS application. For the 2025 entry, the UCAS application is £28.50. So 28.50 which is approximately about 150 ringgit or so for up to 5 universities, right? So you definitely have to pay that. Unfortunately, there's kind of no escaping that amount. Right? After you pay for your application fees, you can submit it, and then unfortunately, the wait for you will begin from there. So once from there, the universities will be reviewing your applications. Um, the 5 universities that you apply for will be reviewing your applications, and from there, they will actually share with you what kind of offer that they are giving you. There are 3 types of offer and response that you can expect from the universities. First one would be conditional offer. Conditional offer means that you've meet certain requirements of the institution, but it also means that they are not outright giving you the placement in the university yet. They usually require your final exam, final transcript in order to confirm your placement at the university. The best case scenario that you can possibly get, or response that you can possibly get, would then be the unconditional offer. So an unconditional offer means that there and then itself, whatever results that you've provided to the university, they are happy to accept you at that very moment. And so you basically get a direct pass towards that university. And the most dreaded response that we can get would actually be a rejection. Unfortunately, that does happen sometimes. And so, a rejection offer means that the university did not offer you a placement yet, right? So that's why it's pretty important as well when you are selecting that 5 university, that you are also selecting something that you meet the requirement for, and that you have a good chance to accept it there. Yeah, so that is kind of a summary with the class application. I know that it's a little bit it's a little bit a lot of information, but it is also one of the most important first step that you can take when it comes to applying to study in the UK. Yes, and the next one is deadlines, right? So if you prepare everything and then you lepas the deadline, then unfortunately no point as well. So very important. For undergraduate degree, the UCAS application is currently already open. So if let's just say you are intending to join the if you're intending to join the September intake in 2025 for UK, then the application season will start now. But in order for you to do that, then you have to make sure that you are also currently pursuing actually your pre-university, right? And then the deadline for most universities, for most undergraduate course, would be around mid of this year. It's usually around 30th of June, honestly. And if let's just say you pass this deadline, there is one saving grace for you, is that you get into clearing. And clearing means that like you may not necessarily get into the university of choice. So in other words, it means that like whatever leftover placements that is available in that university, then it's up for taking for any students who is going into clearing, for example. And yeah, that's about it actually. Great, on the dot 40 minutes. Final thing that I would like to share with everyone is actually this Study UK guide. So same thing like the previous 2 QR codes. If you can just screenshot this QR code over here. And in this Study UK guide, right, it will tell you all information about applying and studying in the UK. So everything from your visa application to the UCAS application to what to expect in terms of like accommodation, food, lifestyle, culture, is going to give you a bit more information in that in this guide over here. It definitely won't be too in depth because different cities in the UK have a different kind of have kind of different but it will give you a good overall as to yeah what all this kind of in general for the UK. And yes, that's kind of it for me. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Miss Vivian. There is a question here regarding the SPM leavers. Isn't there a pre-uni program that is an A level that they have to pursue first before attending the undergraduate program?
Yes, definitely. For you to actually pursue an undergraduate, you definitely have to complete a pre-university program. So the most common pre-university program that is accepted by the UK would be A levels. There are certain institutions that accept, for example, like a diploma or international baccalaureate or OSMET, perhaps.
Yep.
There are some institutions that may open up exceptions or requirements for it. But if you really intend to go to the UK, I would just say go for A levels because that's your best bet, and it will most probably meet the requirements for pre-university for most UK institutions.
All right. Based on the other question as well, yeah. The 5 course options, yeah. Can you kindly advise the best way to choose the university?
Okay. So to choose the universities again, it will use this top QR code over here, the one search for more than 50,000 undergraduate courses. Go to scan that QR code and then find the course, key in the course that you would like to take, for example. And then from there, it would list out all the universities that offer that particular course. Obviously, in order for you to do that, you kind of have to have an idea about which course you want to pursue or what kind of module that you want to pursue. But once you find that course that you want, maybe it's like engineering, maybe it's like event management, maybe it's science and football, perhaps. Key it in there and we'll tell you all the top 5 universities that all the universities that is available. In order to choose the best universities for you,
all right,
then yeah, I would suggest to just go through this list. Yep.
Yep. Okay. Which the location of the university or the course in the first place?
Sorry, I didn't catch that. What do you mean?
Which one we need to emphasize in the first place, whether the location of the university or courses?
Honestly, I think that's really a personal preference side of things. So if let's just say, because certain courses is only available at certain universities, and then certain universities is also something that city maybe is much more appealing than you compared to other cities. I can't say for sure. We can't say for sure. You have to consider this before that. It really is an in tandem process for you to kind of look and balance and consider very holistically.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Brenda has put the summary of steps to complete SPM, enroll the A-level foundation IB or any other foundation program available at the current Malaysia perspective, yeah. And then apply the UK university to the UCAS, receive the offer, and apply the student visa, begin the undergraduate studies in the UK. So I guess those students from the college, College Mara Seremban, College Mara Banting, the IB, and the Intech, for example, from the UiTM also have these courses on the A level, and any other courses like OSMET to go to pursue your degree at the UK. Also might as well look at the basic foundation courses available for you to pursue degree in the UK. All right. Will Brenda having another session as well following your session, Vivian?
No. That would be it. That's the two of us.
Okay, I guess technical, do we have any other question? Oh yeah, there is a question. Are there any chances of the student getting accepted into the universities without doing any pre-university programs?
I am not aware of any degree or undergraduate courses that you can pursue without a pre-university program. If there is, then it would usually not be a full-time like traditional degree. It could be a vocational certificate or it could be a technical certificate. But the degree, the one that we are most familiar with, um, there is a 99% chance that you definitely need a pre-university in order to get that.
I guess every university in the UK, they do have the prospectus and online prospectus that, I mean, the students and the parents need to look at before pursuing their degree in the UK. They may have some sort like pre-university courses that required, and also diploma also might be accepted with some credit transfer as well. Yep. Okay. Is that true, Vivian?
Yeah, for diploma credit transfers, it would usually be a university that has an existing like transnational education agreement with the UK universities. So if you are taking a diploma and then you intend to go to the UK for the degree, uh, be very sure to just kind of like make sure that that transfer of credit or those years that you're studying your diploma will be eligible uh, to the degree at that point. Because usually these are pre-arranged agreement between the, for example,
Mm-mm.
Malaysian institution as well as the UK institution.
Exactly. Yep. You need to look very carefully, yeah, students. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, there is another question from one of the participants saying that, I mean, in the UCAS, if the student interested in accountancy process, I mean, sorry, interested in the accountancy courses, do I need to apply to 5 different universities with the same course?
You can choose to apply to 5 different universities with the same accountancy course, or you can choose to apply to 5 different universities with 5 different types of courses. So maybe certain
Mm.
universities may have a bit unique, like accountancy and business, right? Because
Mm.
it's a two-way perspective. As opposed to just doing accounts, you're also learning about the business side of things. There are certain universities that have unique programs like this. So you can also, and maybe that's for university A.
Yep.
You can just say that university A, I do this like accountancy and business, and then university B, C, D, E is just accountancy.
Mm. As long as, yeah, it can be also applied, yeah, to 5 different university at different names of the accountancy courses. Yep. All right.
Yes. All right.
With that, technical, do we have any other questions? I guess we don't have any further question. Any last word, Vivian, to the students? Some of
For me to you.
some of yeah, some of
Um,
them are going to pursue degree after the A level.
Okay, that's great. I'm excited for you. Honestly, I enjoyed my time so much when I was in the UK. But one of those things that I personally love telling anyone who is about to go to the UK is be very open in terms of like how different education there may be. So in the UK, there's a lot of like independent studying, and you are responsible actually for your own future, for your own education, in a sense that your lecturers, your teachers, is not going to force you to come to class.
Mm.
Um, no one is going to take kedatangan in the class, in the lectures. So you have to make the effort to go to class because you are doing it for yourself, right? And if you have any questions, you have anything that you want to clarify, that's on you as well. Cannot like, shy. Cannot say, malu. There's no malu. Just ask the lecturer because you are responsible for your own education. You are responsible for your future. So keep a very open mindset when you go to UK, and you'll do like perfectly fine in that country then.
All right, thank you, Vivian. Oh, we do have one more question about the scholarship. Is there any scholarship available from British Council for for the SPM leavers? Do British Chevening apply for the SPM leavers?
No, for Chevening, which is a scholarship that is offered by the British High Commission, is actually for postgraduate. So for undergraduate, even British Council, we don't really have. But for postgraduate, meaning masters and above, please come back because, you know, British High Commission as well as the British Council, we do have scholarships specifically for undergraduate. And that's intentional because we just really want to promote the lifelong education side of things.
That's very good to hear. There's a question meaning that for the SPM leavers, do they still need to apply through UCAS if they already have taken the A level?
Sorry, so which means that the student has A levels and SPM, is it?
Yep.
Okay, assuming you have both A levels and SPM, then yes, you still have to apply through UCAS. Any undergraduate program in the UK would have to go through UCAS.
Yeah, the conclusion is the UCAS is similar to UPU in Malaysia. That's the concept. All right, in order to pursue your degree in the UK. Okay, all right. I guess we don't have any further question. All right. Thank you, Vivian, for the very impactful session tonight, and also Brenda, who is very responsive to all these questions asked and giving the write-up comment for the participants. I guess that's all for tonight. Thank you, Miss Vivian. All the best to you in the UK, and also Miss Brenda Chandran as well.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night ahead.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.